A modern, sleek office with large windows offering a breathtaking view of the city skyline. Ethan sits behind a large, polished desk, papers scattered in front of him. His office is well lit, organized, and professional, but there's a noticeable emptiness about the space, mirroring his personal life. It's late in the evening, and the city below is buzzing with energy. But Ethan remains absorbed in his work. Ethan's calm and authoritative. "Clara, I need you to review the financial reports for the end of the month. We need to ensure everything is in order before the board meeting on Friday. Claras.com and steady, got it?" "Ethan, I'll go through them and make sure everything's good to go." Clara looks up from her computer for a moment, catching Ethan's gaze. Despite her calm demeanor, there's a quiet storm in her heart. She's been by his side through the highs and lows of building this company from scratch. But what's been growing inside her is more than just admiration for his success. Clara has been in love with Ethan for as long as she can remember, but she's never had the courage to admit it. She's too scared to jeopardize their professional relationship. For now, she's content just being the steady hand behind his success. Isabella's confident and smooth as she enters the room. "Hey, Ethan, do you have a minute? I'd love to talk about the marketing strategy for the upcoming launch." Isabella strides into the office, her presence magnetic. She's tall, stunningly beautiful, and exudes a confidence that's impossible to ignore. Her stylish business attire is perfectly tailored, and she offers a charming smile that immediately captivates the room. Her eyes briefly meet Clara's as she passes, but it's Ethan she's focused on, Ethan's. Surprised but composed, "Isabella, I didn't expect you to be here this late." "What's up?" Isabella's voice, warm and inviting. "Oh, it's no big deal. I've been working on some ideas for the upcoming project, and I thought it might be better if we could brainstorm together." Isabella moves closer to Ethan's desk, her gaze fixed on him as she slides a folder with her proposals toward him. Clara watches from the corner of the room, trying to maintain her professional composure, but she can't shake the feeling that Isabella is crossing some invisible line. Clara's soft but slightly tense as she gathers her things. "I'll go over these reports and check in later. Just let me know if you need anything." Clara gets up from her desk, her eyes lingering on Ethan for just a moment before she quickly turns and walks out of the office. She can't help but notice how Ethan's attention shifts to Isabella with an intensity she's never seen before. A strange mix of jealousy and insecurity churns in her stomach. She tries to shake it off, but the feeling lingers as she walks down the hallway, leaving them alone in the room. Isabella's soft and seductive as she closes the door behind Clara. Clara's a great asset, isn't she? She's always been by your side, helping you build this empire. But I think we both know that sometimes even the most reliable person can't always fill the space that's left unspoken. Isabella's voice is smooth, and she smiles as she leans against the edge of Ethan's desk, her eyes never leaving his. She's a master of reading people, and she knows exactly how to get his attention. Ethan's slightly caught off guard, but trying to maintain control. "I appreciate Clara's help. She's been invaluable. But what do you have in mind, Isabella?" Ethan tries to keep his voice neutral, but there's a subtle shift in his posture. Isabella's presence is commanding, and even though he's trying to stay focused, he feels an unfamiliar pull. Isabella's playful yet direct. "I think you need someone who understands your vision the way you do. Someone who can push you, inspire you in ways others can't. You've built a great company, Ethan, But what about the rest of your life? Her tone shifts, becoming more intimate as she moves a little closer, lowering her voice. There's an undeniable chemistry between them, a tension that's hard to ignore. Ethan's hesitant, but intrigued. I'm not sure I follow. I've got plenty on my plate with work right now. Ethan tries to brush it off, but he feels a shift in his own thoughts, a curiosity that he can't easily dismiss. Isabella's, with a hint of charm. It's more than just work, Ethan. Everyone needs someone to lean on, someone who gets them, someone who can offer more than just business advice. You deserve more than just success. She steps closer, her eyes never leaving his, as if she's daring him to look away. Clara, standing just outside the door, can hear the faint murmur of their conversation. Her heart tightens as she stands there, knowing that Ethan is being pulled into something she can't compete with. She's always been there for him, always had his back, but the reality is clear now. Isabella is everything Clara is not. Clara knows she can't stand by forever. She's been in love with Ethan for so long, but is she really just another person in his world? Or could she be the one to take the next step with him? Isabella's, with a knowing smile. I think you're beginning to understand what I'm talking about. Maybe, one day, we can talk about more than just work. Ethan's uncertain but intrigued. Maybe, Ethan stands up from his desk, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. The tension in the room is thick, but he's too focused on Isabella to shake off the feeling that something is changing inside him. Something he doesn't quite understand. Clara slowly walks away, her mind racing. She can't bear to see what's unfolding, but she knows deep down that it's only the beginning. Ethan is falling under Isabella's spell, and Clara is left to question her own place in his life. She's been there for him every step of the way, but now she fears that the line between business and personal has blurred beyond repair. The atmosphere in the office grows heavier with every passing minute. Ethan is torn between the woman he's known for years, Clara, who has always been by his side, and the newcomer, Isabella, whose presence makes the air feel thick with something more than just business. As the night draws on, Ethan tries to push his thoughts aside, but Isabella's words linger in his mind. Ethan's, leaning against the desk, trying to maintain composure. I'll consider your ideas, Isabella. But for now, I think we've covered enough for today. Ethan stands up and moves toward the window, glancing out at the city lights below. The night is quiet, and his mind is anything but. Isabella's words echo in his head, and a strange feeling stirs inside him, a feeling he doesn't quite understand but can't ignore. Isabella's soft, almost coaxing, "Of course, Ethan, I know you're busy, but I hope we can pick this up again soon. Maybe over dinner." She steps closer, her voice low and persuasive. Ethan, despite his usual self-control, feels the pull of her presence, a draw he can't explain. He turns back to face her, locking eyes with her. For a brief moment, he sees something in her eyes, something beyond the professional. It's dangerous, and yet it's enticing. Ethan's, cautious yet intrigued. "Dinner. We're talking business, Isabella." His voice remains steady, but inside, his mind is spinning. He's been in control of everything for so long, and yet this woman, with her charm and beauty, makes him feel like he's losing his grip. Isabella's, smiling knowingly, and business can be discussed anywhere. "I think you and I both know the kind of connection we have, Ethan. You've felt it too, haven't you?" Isabella's words are loaded with implication, her gaze unwavering. She knows exactly how to get under his skin, how to make him second-guess everything he thought he knew about himself. She's playing a game, and she's in control. Ethan's breath catches in his throat for a moment. He has felt Ethan's undeniable connection, but he pushes the thought away, telling himself that it's nothing. It's just the stress of running a company, the late nights, the pressure. But still, her presence lingers in his thoughts. Ethan's finally breaking the tension, though his tone is quieter than before. I don't think this is a good idea, Isabella. We're both here to do a job. Let's keep it professional. Ethan turns away from her, his back now to the room, as if trying to regain his focus. But the silence between them hangs heavy. He feels Isabella's eyes on him, and the weight of her gaze seems to anchor him to the spot. She's not giving up, and neither is he entirely sure he wants her to. Isabella's with a slight edge to it. Of course, Ethan, I'll respect your decision. Her tone shifts, the subtle challenge in her words evident. She knows she's planted a seed, and now is just a matter of waiting for it to grow. Isabella steps back, her eyes lingering on him a moment longer before she turns toward the door. I'll leave you to your work. But just know, I'm always around if you change your mind. The door closes behind her with a soft click, leaving Ethan standing alone in the quiet office. He exhales slowly, trying to shake off the lingering tension, but the feeling in his chest won't go away. He walks back to his desk, sitting down, but his mind is still elsewhere. Somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice whispers, "What if?" Meanwhile, Clara is walking down the hallway, her footsteps echoing softly on the polished floors. She passes by Ethan's office, her heart heavy with the weight of what she's just witnessed. The conversation between him and Isabella felt different. Clara knows something has changed, but she doesn't know what to do about it. She's always been the one standing behind Ethan, but now she feels like she's losing him to someone else. Clara's soft as she speaks to herself in the hallway. What am I supposed to do now? Her voice barely rises above a whisper as she leans against the wall. She knows she's always been there for Ethan, but now it feels like there's something she can't quite reach. Isabella's charm is undeniable, and Clara feels a pang of jealousy she can't ignore. She's tried to keep her feelings buried, but now it's becoming harder to pretend she doesn't care. The next day, the office is buzzing with activity. Ethan is more distracted than usual, his thoughts divided between Clara, Isabella, and the work that still needs to be done. He's trying to focus, but his mind keeps drifting back to Isabella's smile, her words, and the undeniable pull between them. Clara, on the other hand, is more distant than usual. She can't help but notice the way Ethan glances at Isabella when she enters the room. It's subtle, but it's there. Clara's, as she speaks to Ethan in the break room, her tone carefully neutral. "Hey, Ethan, how's the project looking for next week's meeting? I've got some updates I think you'll find useful." Ethan's distracted, but trying to stay professional. "Yeah, I'm on it. Just catching up on some stuff." Ethan forces a smile, but it's not convincing. Clara knows him too well too by the act. She's been by his side through thick and thin, but now she's starting to feel like she's losing him to someone else. She tries to shake the feeling off, but it lingers. Clara's a hint of sadness creeping into her tone. "All right. Well, let me know if you need anything. I'll be at my desk." Clara turns and walks back to her desk, trying to hold herself together. She knows she can't let her emotions get the best of her, but it's hard. Every glance Ethan throws at Isabella feels like a dagger to her heart. Later that afternoon, Ethan stands at his office window, staring out at the city. He's still thinking about the conversation with Isabella. He knows he needs to focus on the work ahead, but there's a part of him that can't stop thinking about her. And that part of him, he can't ignore it anymore. Ethan's, as he mutters to himself, barely audible. What am I doing? He clenches his fists, trying to regain his composure. He can't afford to let his emotions get in the way. But the pull he feels toward Isabella is undeniable. And it's only getting stronger. Isabella's on the phone. A smirk in her tone. I'm sure we'll have time to finish what we started. Don't worry, Ethan. Everything will work out. Just like we planned. The conversation is brief, but the message is clear. Isabella is not going anywhere. She's determined to make Ethan hers. And as for Clara, she's just another piece in the puzzle. But Isabella doesn't count on one thing: Clara's determination to fight for the man she's always loved. The office is bustling with activity as Ethan and his team prepare for the upcoming product launch. The pressure is on, and the tension between Ethan, Clara, and Isabella is palpable. The lines between work and personal feelings continue to blur, and it's becoming harder for everyone to keep their composure. The next few days will change everything. Ethan sits in his office, surrounded by reports and presentations, but his mind isn't on the task at hand. His thoughts keep drifting back to Isabella, the way she speaks, the way she looks at him. He feels himself slipping, drawn to her in a way he can't explain. He needs to focus, he knows that. But every time he sees her, that pull grows stronger. Ethan's muttering to himself, frustrated. Focus. Ethan, you've got a company to run. This isn't the time for distractions. He rubs his temples, trying to clear his head, but it's no use. He stands up, walks to the window, and stares out at the city below. He should be excited about the upcoming launch, but his heart feels heavy. He's never felt this conflicted before. The connection with Isabella feels like something he can't control. And Clara is different. She's been with him through everything, but she's starting to pull away. She doesn't say it, but he can feel the distance between them growing. Clara's tentative as she approaches Ethan's office door. Ethan. Clara knocks softly, but she doesn't wait for him to invite her in. She steps inside, trying to keep her composure, but her heart is pounding in her chest. She's been avoiding Ethan ever since she saw him with Isabella. The air between them feels thick, and Clara knows she can't ignore it any longer. The reality of their situation is starting to set in. Ethan's distracted, but attempting to remain professional. Clara, I'm glad you're here. I've been meaning to go over these numbers with you. He gestures to the reports on his desk, but Clara can't focus on them. She's watching him closely, studying the way he's avoiding her eyes. The subtle shift in his behavior is impossible to ignore. Clara's carefully measured, but there's an edge of hurt in her tone. Ethan, what's going on? You've been distant lately. Ethan looks up at her, caught off guard. His expression falters for just a moment before he masks it with a forced smile. Ethan's avoiding her gaze. Nothing's going on. Just busy with work. You know how it is. Clara's more insistent. No, Ethan, this is more than just work. I can feel it. Something's changed. Her voice cracks slightly, though she tries to keep it steady. She's afraid of what she's about to say, but she can't hold back anymore. Is it Isabella? The mention of Isabella hangs in the air like a heavy weight. Ethan's eyes narrow slightly, and for a brief moment, He feels the sting of her words. He doesn't want to admit it, but he knows it's true. He's been drawn to Isabella, and it's been difficult to ignore. But he also knows the truth about Clarushi's been by his side for years. She's the one who's always had his back. So why does it feel so complicated now? Ethan's strained, finally meeting her gaze. Clara, it's not what you think. I'm just trying to keep everything together. Clara's, her eyes searching his face, looking for something, anything to tell her that things are okay. I've been by your side from the very beginning. Ethan, from the late nights, the struggles, everything. But now, I'm starting to feel like I'm losing you. Her words hit him harder than he expected. Clara has always been there for him, and he knows it. But the reality of the situation is becoming clearer. Isabella is a distraction, a temptation, and Clara is the steady, reliable presence he's always counted on. Yet, the connection with Isabella is something he can't ignore. His tone softer, as if he's finally realizing the depth of Clara's feelings. I'm sorry. Clara, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. He takes a step closer to her, but Clara takes a small step back. There's a barrier between them now, one that wasn't there before. Clara is trying to protect herself, but Ethan can see the hurt in her eyes. He's always been able to rely on her, but now, for the first time, he feels like he's the one who's lost something important. Clara's, her words laced with a quiet sadness. I need you to decide. Ethan, I can't keep doing this if I'm not a priority in your life. Her voice cracks, and she quickly looks away, not wanting him to see the tears that threaten to spill over. She's been patient, but there's only so much she can take. Ethan's desperately trying to find the right words, but unsure. Clara, please don't say that. I don't want to lose you. He reaches out to her, but Clara pulls back slightly, her body language closed off. She knows what she wants, but she also knows she can't force Ethan to choose her. She's given him everything, but now, she's not sure if it's enough. Clara's calm but firm. I need time to think. We both do. She walks toward the door, her heart heavy, but she knows she can't stay in this limbo any longer. She doesn't know if she can continue working alongside him if things stay the way they are. As Clara leaves, Ethan stands alone in his office, the silence deafening. He watches her walk away, feeling the weight of her words settle heavily on his chest. He knows he has to make a choice, but part of him is afraid of what that choice might mean. Can he really walk away from Isabella? Or has he already walked away from Clara? Ethan's quietly, as if speaking to himself. What am I doing? He runs a hand through his hair, feeling the pressure mounting. The weight of his decisions, his choices, feels overwhelming. Later that day, Isabella stops by Ethan's office again, her usual charm in full force. She leans against the doorframe, a smile playing at her lips as she catches his attention. Isabella's teasing and confident. Hey, Ethan, everything all right? Her gaze is steady, as if she already knows the answer. She knows that her presence affects him, that she's pulling him closer, and she's enjoying every moment of it. Ethan, distracted, but still aware of her influence. Yeah, just dealing with some stuff. It's been a long day. Isabella's, smooth, almost like a whisper. You've been working hard. Maybe it's time to take a break. Together, she steps into the room, her presence commanding. She knows exactly how to make Ethan feel like he's the only person in the room, like she's the only one who understands him. And it's working, but Ethan can't shake the feeling that he's losing control. As Ethan looks at Isabella, he feels the pull once again. It's dangerous, it's tempting, and he can't deny that a part of him wants to give in. But he also knows that the longer he stands in this place of uncertainty, the harder it will be to make the right choice. The line between professional and personal has already been crossed, and now it's up to him to decide how far he's willing to go. Ethan's office, early in the morning. The sun streams through the large windows, casting a warm glow on the sleek furniture. But despite the beauty of the day, there's an undeniable heaviness in the air. Ethan sits at his desk, staring at a series of reports on his computer screen, but his mind isn't on the work. His thoughts keep drifting back to the conversation with Clara, and to the magnetic pull he feels toward Isabella. His internal conflict has reached its peak, and today, something is going to change. The door to Ethan's office creaks open softly, and Clara steps in. She hesitates for a moment before speaking, her voice a little softer than usual, tinged with uncertainty. Clara's, tentative but steady. "Ethan, we need to talk." Ethan looks up from his screen, his expression a mix of concern and exhaustion. He can see the look in Clara's eyes. Something has shifted, and he knows it's time to face the truth. Ethan's trying to mask his unease. "Clara, what's on your mind?" He stands up from his desk, pushing the reports aside. His hands are a little shaky, and he knows this conversation is long overdue. He can't keep avoiding it. Clara's taking a deep breath, her eyes fixed on him. "You've been distant lately. I've noticed it, and I know you have too." Her voice falters slightly as she speaks, but she holds her ground. She's spent years standing by him, working together to build something incredible. But now, everything feels like it's slipping away. She's tried to ignore it, tried to focus on work, but it's too much to bear anymore. Clara takes a step closer to Ethan, her voice quieter now, but with an edge of vulnerability. Clara's, soft but firm. "I can feel you pulling away from me. I don't know what's happening, but I know I can't just sit here and pretend everything is fine anymore. I deserve to know, Ethan. What's going on?" Ethan's heart sinks. He knows this moment is coming, but he's not ready for it. His eyes flicker with guilt, and he shifts uncomfortably. He wants to be honest with her, but the truth is more complicated than he ever anticipated. There's a weight in his chest that he can't shake, and for the first time, he feels cornered. Ethan's hesitant, guilt creeping in. "Clara, it's not that simple." He stops, running a hand through his hair, trying to find the right words. He wants to tell her everything, but the words won't come out. The tension between them has been building for so long, and now there's no turning back. Clara takes another step closer, her heart pounding in her chest. She's afraid of what he might say, but she needs to hear it. She can't live with this uncertainty anymore. She's already given him everything, her trust, her support, her love. But she's starting to realize that maybe it's never been enough. Clara's, more urgent now, as she takes a deep breath. "I deserve to know. Ethan, I've been with you through everything, from the start of this company to now. I've given everything I have to make sure you succeed. But I'm not just your assistant anymore. I'm not just the person who supports you. I'm your friend Ethan, and I've been in love with you for a long time." The words come out in a rush, as if Clara has been holding them back for too long. There's a vulnerability in her voice that cuts through the tension in the room. Ethan freezes, his eyes widening as the truth hits him. He's always known Clara cared for him. She's been by his side through every high and low. but he never realized how deeply she felt. And now, hearing her admit it out loud, it stirs something inside him that he's tried to ignore. He's been holding back from her, keeping his feelings hidden. But now it feels like the walls are crumbling. Ethan's quiet, regretful. Clara, ... I didn't know. His words hang in the air, heavy and full of guilt. He never meant to hurt her. She's been his rock, his constant, and now he realizes how much he's taken her for granted. The weight of her confession makes him question everything. Why has he let things get so complicated? Clara looks at him, her heart breaking as she sees the confusion in his eyes. She's waited so long for this moment, but now that it's here, she feels unsure of everything. She takes a step back, her voice tinged with pain, Clara's, with a hint of sadness. I've been waiting, Ethan, waiting for you to see me. But you've been too busy, ... too distracted. And now, I see how things are between us. I see how you've been drawn to someone else. Her eyes briefly flicker to the door, as if Isabella's presence is still hanging over them like a dark cloud. Clara doesn't say her name, but she doesn't need to. Ethan knows exactly who she's talking about. Ethan's chest tightens. He wants to reach out to Clara, to make things right, but he doesn't know how. Isabella's words from the night before echo in his mind. He's been fighting something he doesn't fully understand, and now it feels like everything is spiraling out of control. Ethan, barely above a whisper, I'm sorry. Clara, I never meant for this to happen. Clara shakes her head, a tear slipping down her cheek. She wipes it away quickly, but the emotion is clear in her eyes. She's been patient, she's been understanding, but now she can't keep pretending that everything is okay. She's given him her heart, and it feels like he's slipping away. Clara's calm but broken. I can't do this anymore, Ethan. I can't keep pretending everything's fine when it's not. I need to know what you want. I can't keep standing in the shadows while you chase someone else. Ethan reaches out for her, but Clara steps back. She shakes her head, her voice trembling. Clara's, firm but filled with pain. I love you, Ethan, but I'm not going to keep waiting for you to choose me. You need to decide what you want. And if it's not me, then I'll have to walk away. Clara turns and walks out of the office, her footsteps echoing down the hallway. Ethan stands there, paralyzed. The weight of her words hits him like a ton of bricks. He feels the loss already, but he knows he can't chase both things at once. Clara has laid everything on the table, and now it's up to him to choose. But before he can process it all, Isabella's voice interrupts his thoughts. Isabella's calm and calculated. From the doorway, is everything okay, Ethan? Ethan's tired and conflicted. Clara just left. We need to talk. About everything. Isabella's, stepping into the room with a smile. I think I know what you're going through. But don't worry, Ethan. You're not alone. As Isabella walks toward him, Ethan feels the weight of his choices pressing on him. He's at a crossroads, and the decisions he makes now will shape the future of everything he's worked for. But can he really let go of Clara, the woman who stood by him through it all? Or will he give in to the allure of something new, something exciting, with Isabella? The following morning in the office, the air feels charged with unspoken tension. Ethan arrives early, pacing around his office as he tries to gather his thoughts. The events of the previous night, his conversation with Clara, and his overwhelming feelings toward Isabella swirl in his mind. He knows he's on the verge of something significant, but he can't bring himself to face it. Ethan takes a deep breath. sitting at his desk, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. He tries to focus on the tasks in front of him, the presentation for the board meeting, the final details for the product launch, but it's all a blur. His mind is too clouded by the choice he has to make. The door opens, and Clara enters, her expression serious but composed. She's been avoiding Ethan since their conversation yesterday. She knows they need to talk, but part of her wants to just forget it all and focus on work. But the reality is, things have changed, and she needs to hear him say what he truly feels. Clara's calm but laced with uncertainty. "Ethan, we need to talk." Ethan looks up, his eyes weary. He stands up from his desk and walks toward her, the weight of the situation heavy between them. The look in Clara's eyes tells him everything he needs to know. She's hurt, and he's the one who caused it. Ethan's, quietly, almost apologetically, "Clara, I know I've hurt you. I didn't mean to, but I've been caught up in all of this. I don't know what to do anymore." Clara shakes her head, not in frustration, but in resignation. She's tired of this back and forth, tired of trying to hold everything together, while Ethan seems lost in his own world. Clara's voice trembling with emotion. "Ethan, you need to decide what you want. You can't keep stringing me along while you chase someone else." Her words cut through the air, piercing the silence that has hung between them since yesterday. Clara's heart is breaking, but she can't keep living in limbo. She's been patient, supportive, and loving, but at what cost? Ethan looks at her, feeling a deep pang of guilt. He's always known how much Clara cares for him, but he's always kept her at arm's length, not allowing himself to get too close. He's been emotionally distant, hiding behind the facade of being too busy with work. But now, with Clara's words ringing in his ears, he can't ignore it anymore. Ethan's voice filled with regret. "I didn't want to hurt you, Clara. I never meant for this to happen. I don't know what to say." Clara turns away from him, walking toward the window, her back to him. The tension in the room feels suffocating. She's trying to hold it together, but the emotional weight of everything is too much. She feels like she's losing him, and worse. She feels like she's always been invisible in his eyes. Clara's voice soft but firm. "You need to figure this out. Ethan, I can't keep waiting for you to choose. I've given you everything. I've been there for you since day one, and now I feel like I'm nothing to you." Ethan feels the sting of her words. They hit harder than anything Isabella has said. He's been so focused on his work, and now he realizes just how much he's taken Clara for granted. He looks at her, his heart heavy with regret. Ethan's softly, almost pleading. "Clara, please don't say that. I need you. I just don't know what to do." There's a long pause. Clara's back is still turned to him, her hands gripping the windowsill as she stares out at the city. Her mind races with the flood of emotions she's been holding back. Part of her wants to forgive him, to reach out and comfort him. But another part of her is tired of being the one who always has to make things right. Clara's, quietly but with strength. "I'm done, Ethan. I can't keep doing this. I deserve more than being the one you run to when everything else falls apart." She turns back to face him, her eyes filled with both sadness and determination. The decision is made. She's no longer going to be the one left behind. Clara's resolute. "I'm leaving. Ethan, I can't keep pretending everything's okay when it's not." Ethan stands frozen, unable to speak. He feels a sharp pang of loss deep in his chest. The realization hits him like a wave. He's about to lose Clara, the one person who has always been there for him. But as the weight of the situation settles in, he realizes that he might have already lost her. Ethan's desperate. "Clara, please, don't do this. I need you." But she shakes her head, cutting him off before he can finish. Clara's unwavering. "You need to decide, Ethan. You can't keep living in two worlds. Either it's me or it's her. But I can't keep standing here while you're with her, pretending everything is fine." Clara walks toward the door, her footsteps slow but steady. Ethan watches her go, but he doesn't stop her. He knows she's right. She deserves more than this, and he's the one who's failed her. As Clara exits, the door closes softly behind her, leaving Ethan alone in the office. He stands still for a long time, unable to move. The weight of her words settles on him, suffocating him. He feels like he's lost something irreparable. He's made a choice, whether he wanted to or not. Later that day, Isabella arrives at the office. She steps into Ethan's office with her usual confident stride. But this time, Ethan doesn't immediately smile or offer his usual warm welcome. There's a shift in the air, something that feels like a final reckoning. Isabella notices it right away. Isabella's, with a curious smile, "Ethan, you look like you've had a rough day." Ethan's tired, but with a hint of determination. "Yeah, ... It's been a tough day." Isabella's teasing. "Want to talk about it?" Ethan hesitates, looking at Isabella. For a moment, he sees her for what she is: temptation, a distraction, something that could lead him further down a path he's not sure he wants to take anymore. But the weight of his decision lingers in the room. He knows what he has to do. He can't keep running away from the truth. Ethan's, quietly, almost to himself, "I think I already know the answer." As Isabella steps closer, her eyes searching his, Ethan stands firm. He knows he's reached a crossroads, and he can no longer avoid making the right choice. The allure of Isabella, the complications with Claire, everything has come to a head. He's about to make the decision that will define the rest of his life. The office is quiet, but the silence is deafening. Ethan sits at his desk, his mind racing with the events that have unfolded over the past few days. Clara has left, she's finally walked away, and he's left with the harsh reality of the choices he's made. The weight of his decisions has hit him harder than he ever imagined. Alone in his office, Ethan stares at the empty chair where Clara used to sit. The absence of her presence overwhelming. Ethan's speaking to himself, regretful. "What have I done?" He rubs his face with his hands, exhaustion weighing heavily on him. He's always prided himself on being in control, but this is different. He's lost the one person who truly mattered to him, the person who was always there, supporting him. Clara was never just an assistant or colleague. She was his confidant, his rock. And now she's gone. The door opens softly, breaking Ethan's train of thought. It's Isabella, stepping into the room with her usual confidence, but this time, there's something different in the way she looks at him. She notices his disheveled state, the exhaustion in his eyes. Isabella's, concerned but with an underlying smirk. "You don't look like yourself today, Ethan. What happened?" Ethan looks up at her, his gaze tired but sharp. For the first time, he doesn't feel the usual attraction to her, the pull he's felt before. Instead, he feels a strange sense of emptiness. He's no longer interested in the distractions she offers. She's a temptation, but he's no longer sure it's what he wants. Ethan's defeated. "I lost Clara. I messed everything up. Isabella's face softens slightly, but only for a moment. Then she steps closer, leaning on the edge of his desk, her eyes studying him carefully. Isabella's, gently, but with a hint of manipulation. You let her walk away. Ethan, you're smarter than that. You know what you've lost, don't you? She pauses, allowing the words to settle in the air. She knows she's speaking to his guilt and regret, and she enjoys the power that comes with it. Clara was never the one for you. You know that. She was always in your shadow. I can offer you something different. Something better. Ethan takes a deep breath, closing his eyes for a moment as Isabella's words echo in his mind. It's tempting. He's been so caught up in the idea of Isabella, the excitement she brought into his life. But as he looks at her, he realizes that what she offers isn't what he truly needs. It's not real. It's not love. It's the illusion of love, the kind of distraction he's been running to for far too long. Ethan's finally steady, but with an edge of clarity. No, Isabella. You don't understand. I thought I needed something else, something new. But Clara was everything I needed. Isabella's expression falters for just a moment, but she quickly masks it with a smile, though it doesn't reach her eyes. She knows she's losing him, and she doesn't like it. Isabella's trying to regain control, a little colder now. So, you're saying that you'll just let her walk out and never look back? You really think that's what's best for you? Ethan's more resolute. I don't know what's best for me anymore. But I know one thing for sure. I've taken Clara for granted. She was always there, always supporting me, and I pushed her away. I won't make that mistake again. Isabella stares at him for a moment, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes. For the first time, she feels unsure of herself, of her ability to manipulate him. Ethan has made his choice, but it's too late for her to back down. She knows how much power she has, and she's not ready to give it up just yet. Isabella's smooth and calculating, but with a slight edge. You think you can just fix everything by chasing after Clara. You're fooling yourself, Ethan. You've already lost her. You'll never get her back. Ethan stands up, walking toward the window, his back to Isabella. The weight of her words still lingers in the room, but his resolve is growing stronger. He can't let her pull him back into the world of distractions. He knows what he has to do, even if it's hard. Ethan's quieter, but full of determination. I'm going after her, Isabella. I'm going to fix this. And if you want to stay in my life, it's going to have to be on my terms. I'm done with this game. Isabella watches him, her eyes narrowing slightly. She knows she's losing control, and it frustrates her more than anything. She's never had anyone stand up to her like this before, and she doesn't like it. But Ethan is making his choice, and for the first time, she's unsure of her next move. Isabella's cold, with a subtle warning. You'll regret this. Ethan, you can't just throw everything away for someone who doesn't want you anymore. Ethan turns back to face her, his expression unwavering. Ethan's calm but final. I won't regret it. This is something I have to do. And you're right, Clara might not want me anymore, but I'm going to fight for her. I owe her that much. With those words, Ethan watches as Isabella exits the room, the door clicking shut behind her. The silence that follows feels different, more permanent. Ethan stands still for a moment, letting the weight of his decision settle in. He knows this won't be easy. He's hurt Clara, and it's going to take a lot to make things right. But for the first time in a long time, He feels clear about what he wants. The next day, Ethan goes to Clara's apartment. He's nervous, his palms sweating as he rings the doorbell. He hasn't seen her since their argument, and he knows this is his last chance to make things right. He hears footsteps approaching, and then the door swings open. Clara's guarded, but with a touch of sadness. Ethan takes a deep breath, looking at her. She's beautiful, even when she's upset, and he's ruined it, but he's determined to fix it now. Ethan's sincere, almost pleading. Clara, I'm sorry. I've been an idiot. I pushed you away, and I can't keep living like this. I need you. I've always needed you. I just didn't realize it until it was too late. Clara stands there for a moment, her expression unreadable. Ethan waits, his heart in his throat. He's said everything he needed to say, but it's up to her now. Clara's soft but firm. I don't know if I can trust you again, Ethan. You hurt me, and I can't just forget that. Ethan's heart sinks, but he doesn't back down. He steps forward, slowly closing the distance between them. Ethan's more determined than ever. I know I've hurt you, and I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I'm asking you to let me try. Let me prove that I can be the man you need. I don't want to lose you, Clara. I'm not asking for everything right now. I'm just asking for a chance to make it right. Clara looks at him for a long time, her eyes searching his face. She's been hurt, but she sees the sincerity in his eyes. She can't deny if the feeling between them is still there, and it's still strong. She takes a deep breath. Considering her next move, Clara's quietly, but with a hint of hope. You've got one chance. Ethan, don't make me regret it. Ethan's heart soars as he smiles, relieved and grateful. He knows this is just the beginning, and there's a long road ahead of them. But for the first time, he feels like he's on the right path. The morning after Ethan's heartfelt apology, the office is quiet, but the atmosphere feels different, charged with possibility. Ethan's resolve is firm, but he knows the road ahead is far from simple. He has made the decision to fight for Clara, but now he must prove that he can be the man she deserves. And Clara, though willing to give him a chance, is still cautious. Trust has been broken, and healing will take time. Ethan arrives at the office early, determined to face the challenges ahead. His mind is focused, not on business, but on Clara. He knows he needs to make things right with her, but he also knows it's not going to be easy. Clara has been hurt, and he can't expect things to return to normal overnight. Still, the thought of a future with her, a future where he doesn't take her for granted, fills him with a sense of purpose. As Ethan walks into his office, he's greeted by Isabella, who has been eagerly waiting for him. Her smile is as calculated as ever, but this time Ethan doesn't feel the pull. The charm that once captivated him now feels like an illusion, and he knows it's time to move on. Isabella's smooth and confident, stepping into the room. Ethan, I was hoping we could go over the final details for the launch this week. I have some great ideas to discuss. Ethan's firm and focused, but his tone carries a new weight. We'll go over the details later, Isabella. I've got a few things to take care of today. I'll be in touch. Ethan's words are direct, and for the first time, he doesn't let her sway him. Isabella is taken aback, but she quickly masks her surprise with a smile. Isabella's a little playful, but with an underlying edge. All right, Ethan, if you say so. But I hope you know what you're doing. There's a lot riding on this project. She turns to leave but pauses at the door, glancing back at him one last time. Just don't let yourself get distracted, okay? Her words linger in the air as the door clicks shut behind her. Ethan stands still for a moment, the weight of her comment settling in. But this time, it doesn't affect him the way it used to. He's not interested in the distractions anymore. He knows what he wants, and that's Clara. Later that morning, Clara arrives at the office. She enters cautiously, unsure of how things will unfold. The tension from yesterday still hangs in the air, but there's a faint glimmer of hope in her heart. Ethan's words yesterday felt sincere, and though she's been hurt, she's willing to give him a chance. But she won't let her guard down too quickly. Trust takes time. She knocks softly on Ethan's office door before stepping inside. Ethan looks up from his desk, his expression softening when he sees her. For the first time in days, they meet each other's gaze without the weight of guilt or tension. Clara's hesitant but hopeful. Ethan, She stops herself, not sure how to start. She wants to believe him, but it's hard to let go of the hurt. She takes a deep breath and tries again. I'm willing to try. I don't want to keep fighting. I just need to know that you're committed to making this work. Ethan stands up from his desk, walking toward her with a sincerity that catches her off guard. He stops just a few feet away, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Ethan's determined. I am, Clara. I'm committed to you. I made a mistake, and I've been selfish. I know I've hurt you, and I can't take back what I did. But I'm asking you to let me prove to you that I'm not the same person I was. I want to be the man you need, the man you deserve. Clara's heart skips a beat. She's heard him say these things before, but this time feels different. The sincerity in his voice, the vulnerability in his eyes, it's enough to make her pause and reconsider. She takes another step closer to him, her resolve wavering. Clara's, softly, but with a touch of caution. You have to understand, Ethan, I can't just forget everything that happened. It's not that simple. You hurt me, and I don't know if I can just let that go. Ethan's, earnestly, I know. And I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to trust me again, to give me a chance to show you that I can be the man you need. Clara's eyes search his face, trying to find the truth in his words. She's been waiting for this moment for so long, but now that it's here, she's afraid of what it might mean. She wants to believe him, she really does. But the fear of being hurt again looms over her. Clara's quietly, but with a hint of hope. I don't know, Ethan, it's going to take time, but I'm willing to try. I think we both need that time to rebuild what we had. Ethan's expression softens, and for the first time in a long while, he feels a sense of relief. He knows they've got a long road ahead, but this is the first step. He reaches out, gently taking her hand in his. Clara doesn't pull away. Instead, she holds his gaze, feeling the connection between them again, even if it's fragile. Ethan's, softly, with a sense of peace. I'll wait for you, Clara, as long as it takes. I'm not going anywhere. For a brief moment, the world outside their office fades away. In that moment, it's just the two of them, standing together, holding on to the hope of what could be. The past still looms between them, but it no longer feels like an insurmountable obstacle. It's a challenge they're willing to face together. Later that day, Clara and Ethan sit down together to discuss the upcoming project launch. The tension that once existed between them has dissipated, replaced by a new sense of understanding. They work side by side, their collaboration smoother than it's been in weeks. As the day comes to a close, Ethan walks Clara to the elevator. They stand there for a moment, the hum of the office around them. The uncertainty that once clouded their relationship is still there, but now there's a sense of hope, a belief that they can work through the challenges ahead. Quietly, as they stand by the elevator, "I'm glad we're doing this. Clara, I'm glad we're giving this a chance." Clara's, with a small, soft smile, "So am I." Ethan, "So am I." The elevator doors open, and Clara steps inside. As the doors close, she gives him one last look, and for the first time in a long while, Ethan feels the weight of the world lift off his shoulders. They have a long way to go, but this is their new beginning. Several weeks have passed since Ethan and Clara's heartfelt conversation. The office has regained a sense of normalcy, but there's an underlying tension in the air. The product launch is just around the corner, and Ethan's focus is now split between the company's success and his relationship with Clara. He knows he's been given a second chance, but now he's walking a fine line between love and ambition. Ethan is at his desk, reviewing the final details for the launch. The day is long, and he feels the pressure mounting. He's surrounded by his team, but his thoughts keep drifting back to Clara. The space between them has closed, but he still senses a lingering hesitation in her, a sense of caution that wasn't there before. Clara enters the office with a stack of reports in her hands. She's wearing a professional smile, but Ethan can tell she's exhausted. She's been working just as hard as he has, and he appreciates it more than he can put into words. Clara's light, but with an underlying exhaustion. "Here's the updated report for the launch tomorrow. We're almost ready to go." She sets the reports down on his desk and stands there for a moment, waiting for his response. Ethan looks up at her, a quiet understanding passing between them. They've both come a long way since the confrontation a few weeks ago. There's still work to be done, but they've found a rhythm again, both personally and professionally. Softly, with a touch of gratitude, "Thank you. Clara, you've been amazing through all of this. I don't know what I'd do without you." Clara meets his gaze, her eyes searching his face. She's heard him say it before, but something feels different now. The weight of their shared history hangs between them, but so does the promise of a future they're both willing to fight for. Clara's, with a hint of vulnerability, "We're in this together. Ethan, I've always been here, and I will be, as long as you keep choosing me." Her words are quiet, but laden with meaning. She's not asking for more than he's willing to give. She's asking for his commitment. She needs to know, once and for all, that he's in this for the long haul. She can't keep being the one who sacrifices while he hesitates. Ethan takes a deep breath, his gaze never leaving hers. He knows this moment is crucial. He can't keep putting her on hold. He needs to show her that he's committed, not just to the company, but to her, Ethan's. Full of sincerity, "You're right, Clara. I've made mistakes, and I've put other things ahead of you. But not anymore. I'm here, with you. One, choose you now and always. I know we have a lot to work through, but I want you to know that I'm not going anywhere." Not this time. Clara's heart skips a beat, and for a moment, everything else fades away. There's no more doubt, no more fear. Just Ethan's words, and the promise of a future where they face challenges together. She smiles, a warmth spreading through her chest. Clara's, softly, with a genuine smile, "I believe you." Ethan, as they share a quiet moment, the weight of their past and the uncertainty of their future seem a little less daunting. They're in this together, and that's enough to carry them through whatever comes next. Isabella's, cutting through the moment as she enters the office with a purposeful stride. Ethan, Clara, everything's set for the launch tomorrow. We're ready to go. Her tone is professional, but there's an unmistakable tension in the air. Isabella's eyes linger on Clara, and for the briefest of moments, there's a flicker of something cold in her expression. But Clara remains composed, nodding politely. Clara's cool but polite. Great. Let's make sure everything goes smoothly tomorrow. Ethan can feel the shift in the room. Isabella's presence is still a constant reminder of the choices he's had to make, but it no longer holds the same power over him. He's made his decision, he's with Clara, and that's the end of it. Isabella may still try to disrupt things, but Ethan knows where his heart lies. As the day draws to a close, Ethan and Clara leave the office together. The weight of the upcoming launch still hangs in the air, but it's not just the work they're focused on now. For the first time in a long time, they're walking side by side, not just as colleagues, but as partners in both their professional and personal lives. Ethan, softly, as they walk out the door together. Tomorrow's a big day, but we're ready for it. Together, Clara's, with a quiet confidence. Together, the morning of the product launch. The office is buzzing with excitement as the team prepares for the big day. Ethan and Clara are focused, their teamwork seamless. But beneath the professional exterior, there's a deeper connection between them, now one built on trust, understanding, and a renewed commitment to each other. The launch is a success. The product goes live, and the feedback is overwhelmingly positive. The long hours, the stress, the sacrifices, they've all paid off. But for Ethan and Clara, the real victory is in their relationship. They've weathered the storm, and now they're stronger than ever. After the launch event, Ethan takes Clara aside, away from the crowd. The night is quiet, the stars overhead a reminder of how far they've come. Ethan, with a sense of calm certainty. I know we've had our ups and downs, Clara, but I'm grateful for every moment. You've stood by me, even when I didn't deserve it. And I promise you, I'll never take you for granted again. Clara's, her heart full. We've been through a lot, Ethan, but I'm glad we made it here. Together, Ethan takes Clara's hand, his thumb gently brushing over her knuckles. For the first time, there's no doubt between them. There's no more uncertainty. They've built something real, something lasting. And this is just the beginning. Ethan, softly, but with conviction, together. Clara, always. The scene fades as they stand there, hand in hand, looking out at the city, a city that represents both their past struggles and their future triumphs. The road ahead is still uncertain, but as long as they face it together, they know they can overcome anything.